It was just another quiet Thursday night in Marietta, Georgia, the kind where the world feels still for a moment. Streetlights flickered across empty roads, and a soft rain had just begun to fall, tapping lightly against car windows and storefront awnings. Amina Carter was driving home from choir practice, humming softly to herself, a song she'd been perfecting for weeks. Music was more than her passion. It was her therapy, her protest, her peace. She didn't notice the broken taillight. Not until flashing blue and red lights lit up her rearview mirror. Her breath caught. 1,000 thoughts raced through her mind. Stay calm. Hands on the wheel. Don't reach for your phone. Smile. Be respectful. She pulled over, heart thudding, and waited. Now, Amina wasn't new to this. She'd been pulled over before. Once for going 2 miles over the limit. Another time because her music was too loud. But this time felt different. Slower. Tense. In the silence, her fingers tightened on the steering wheel. Then a figure approached. Tall. Heavy boots. Hand on holster. A flashlight flicked inside her car, straight into her eyes. Officer Stern. License and registration. She nodded, moving cautiously, narrating every motion. Amina softly. My license is in my wallet, in the side pocket of my purse. I'm reaching now. The officer didn't respond. Just watched. Ice cold. Expression unreadable. He looked down at her ID, then back at her. His brows furrowed. Officer. This your car? Amina. Yes, sir. It's registered to me. Pause. Then he motioned toward the back of the car. Officer. You know your tail lights out? Amina. No, I didn't know. I'm sorry, I'll get it fixed first thing in the morning. He didn't answer. He turned and walked back toward his cruiser. For a moment, Amina thought it was over. Just a warning maybe. A ticket. Something she could handle. But then, another officer pulled up. 2 cruisers now. 2 sets of lights. Her stomach dropped. 1 officer for a broken light was protocol. That was a statement. She glanced in her mirror. The second officer, taller, bulkier, arms crossed, stared at her car like it was a threat. Not a college student driving home from church. Suddenly, the first officer returned, this time pulling open her car door. Officer harsh. Step out of the vehicle. Amina shocked. WI. I haven't done anything. Officer. Step. Now. Hands still on the wheel, heart pounding in her chest, Amina stepped out. The rain had picked up now, light droplets soaking her hoodie, her choir sheet in the passenger seat already getting damp. She stood by her car, arms out slightly, unsure if she should speak, move, or breathe. The second officer walked up and whispered something to the first. They laughed. And that's when she realized, this wasn't about a broken light. It never was. It was about who she was, and what she looked like. Then the first officer leaned closer. Officer. You matched the description of someone we're looking for. Amina. Excuse me? I just left choir practice. Officer interrupting. That's not what I asked. The second officer placed a hand on his belt. Amina felt a chill run down her spine. This couldn't be happening. Not again. Not to her. Then from across the street, a phone camera quietly flicked on. A neighbor had stepped outside with his dog. And something told him. This wasn't right. One small recording. One quiet witness. One spark. That was about to set the internet on fire. Amina stood shivering beside her car, rain falling heavier now. Not enough to cleanse the injustice in the air, just enough to sting. 2 officers. 4 eyes. 0 empathy. Her hands were still out, just like she was taught. No sudden moves. No back talk. Stay calm. Survive. But what do you do when you follow every rule and still get treated like a threat? Officer 1 stern. Turn around. Hands on the hood. Amina, pleading. What, why? I told you I'm not. Officer 2 interrupting. Do it. Now. With trembling hands, she turned and placed them on the wet, cold surface of her car hood. Her choir folder was still inside, page corners curling in the rain. Her voice, once confident in song, was now reduced to silence. And then, in one swift motion, the first officer yanked her arms behind her back. Amina, startled. Oh, please, I didn't do anything. The click of handcuffs rang out like a gunshot through the night. They cuffed her. Searched her. Right there, on the side of the road. For a broken taillight. Across the street, the neighbor with the phone was still recording. Hidden behind his tree, stunned by what he saw. Neighbor, quiet whisper to camera. This girl's maybe 20, they're treating her like she's a criminal. What the hell is this? Back at the scene, Officer 2 was now rifling through her car. Amina, panicked. You don't have a warrant? That's my personal stuff. Officer 2 mocking. What are you hiding, sweetheart? Choir music? Drugs? A gun. She blinked, stunned. She had nothing but church sheet music, lip balm, a water bottle, and a sweater. Still, the officer pulled out her backpack and dumped it onto the hood, its contents spilling out for the world to see. Her life in pieces, her dignity on display. For what? Because she was black, alone, and driving at night. They ran her ID again. And again. Officer 1 got into his cruiser, speaking into the radio with frustration. Officer 1. Negative match. Doesn't fit the age. No priors. No flags. Amina stood silently, cuffs biting into her wrists, tears mixing with the rain. Her choir leader had called her twice already. Her mom too. She wasn't answering. She couldn't. The man across the street? Still filming. He was about to post the footage online. His caption? This is what a traffic stop looks like when you're black in America. She did nothing. He tagged a few activist pages. And one local journalist. And hit post. What happened next? It took less than 30 minutes. The video started to gain traction. At first, just a few comments. Wait, why is she being cuffed? This happened to my brother last year. Amina, still cuffed beside the hood of her car, had no idea. She didn't know her story was already being shared. That strangers were fighting for her, behind screens across cities, states, and time zones. But inside her, something shifted. She wasn't just scared anymore. She was angry. Amina, soft, defiant. I want your badge numbers. Officer 1 laughs. Excuse me? Amina, you heard me. You had no right. The officers stared. The girl they expected to shrink was now standing tall, bruised wrists, soaked clothes, and still unshaken. They laughed again, but not for long, because within the next hour, the internet was about to show its power. And Amina Carter? She was about to become the voice of something bigger. By 2 a.m., the video had been shared over 100,000 times. By morning, 3.2 million views. And by the time Amina walked into her front door, wrists sore, eyes red, dignity still trying to put itself back together, her name was trending across the country. But she didn't know it yet. She was too busy explaining to her mom why she came home crying, why her choir sheets were soaked, why her wrists had marks. Amina's mom in disbelief. What? They searched you? For what? Amina quietly. For looking like someone else. Her mom hugged her tight, the kind of hug that says, I'm angry but I'm glad you're alive. Across town, in a small newsroom, journalist Rachel Levine was scrolling through her feed when she stumbled upon the video. Paused. Watched it again. And again. Rachel, to herself. This isn't just a traffic stop. This is a story. She picked up the phone. She called her editor. She pulled public records. And within hours, Rachel published a story titled, Choir Student Cuffed and Humiliated Over Broken Light. Police Refused to Explain. That headline? It exploded. Civil rights lawyers started calling. Activist groups started tagging. Celebrities started tweeting. Speaking head, we stand with Amina. Speaking head, pulled over for a taillight. Left with trauma. Speaking head, how many more Amina Carters will it take? The police department? Silent. No statement. No press release. Nothing. But silence, on the internet? That's gasoline. Especially when truth is trending. She scrolled through the hundreds of messages. We see you. We're sorry this happened to you. You are not alone. Her hands shook. She never asked for attention. Never wanted to be a headline. But something in her shifted. Because now, people were listening. And maybe, just maybe, this story wasn't just hers anymore. Phones ringing. Reporters gathering outside. A storm brewing. Police chief, gruff. We need to contain this. Officer 1 panicked. She has nothing. No record. No proof, just a camera. Police chief. That camera has 4 million views. Suddenly, the hunter felt like the hunted. The officers who cuffed her, laughed at her, searched her life in the rain. They were about to be held accountable, not by one girl, but by millions of voices she unknowingly awakened. Amina opening her email inbox. A message from a major TV network is waiting. Then another, from a lawyer offering to represent her for free. She stares at the screen, takes a breath, and replies, Amina, if I have a platform now, I'm going to use it. What began as a routine stop was turning into a national reckoning. And Amina Carter? She was just getting started. A week ago, Amina Carter was just another girl in the choir, reserved, focused, soft-spoken. Today, she was being interviewed live on national television. The segment title? Pulled over for a light, treated like a criminal. TV host gently. Amina, I know this isn't easy, but millions have seen what happened to you. Can you take us back to that night? Amina, voice steady but emotional. I was just trying to drive home. I was practicing for Sunday service. I didn't expect to end up in handcuffs. TV host. What was going through your mind in that moment? Amina, softly. I thought, this is it. That no matter how many rules I followed, my skin made me a suspect. The audience sat silent. The host blinked. Even the cameraman lowered his eyes for a moment. Because sometimes, the truth hits harder than any headline. And in that moment, Amina's voice wasn't just hers. It was echoing across thousands of homes, phones, and hearts. His girl is pure courage. I've never cried during a morning show, but this broke me. Justice for Amina, now. Then came the protest, small at first, outside the station where those officers worked, then larger. Marches forming across cities, high schools, even college campuses. Placards read, broken light is not equal to broken rights. Hands up, choir strong. Sing it, Amina. We hear you. It wasn't just about her anymore. It was about every voice that had been silenced, every name that had been forgotten, every young black life interrupted by bias. Police department holding a press conference. Journalists around the podium. Police chief stern, scripted. We believe our officers acted in accordance with standard procedures. However, we understand the community's concerns. Reporter interrupting. She was handcuffed for a taillight. No weapons, no priors, no explanation. What part of that is standard? Chief Colt. This is under internal review. But the public wasn't buying it. Screenshots. Body cam footage demands. Accountability petitions reaching 500,000 signatures. The story had a face now. And that face was calm, courageous, and singing louder than ever. Amina, standing at the same church where she once sang solo, this time in front of a packed crowd. She steps to the mic. A hush falls. She begins. Amina singing. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Her voice, the same one they tried to silence on the roadside, was now echoing through pews, phones, and hearts. She wasn't afraid anymore, because now the world was watching and listening. The pressure was mounting. The truth, undeniable. And Amina? She was no longer just the girl with the broken light. She was the spark that lit a fire. Weeks had passed since that night on the side of the road. The broken light on Amina Carter's car? It was fixed within days. But the broken trust in her city? That would take much longer to repair. Today she wasn't singing. She wasn't crying. She was speaking directly to power. Amina, testifying. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't breaking the law. I wasn't even nervous. Until I realized I had to be. Gasps from the audience. Amina. They didn't ask for my license right away. They asked if I had anything to hide. They didn't see a student. They saw a threat. The mayor listened. So did the police oversight board. So did every parent watching at home wondering if their child would be next. And in that moment, Amina Carter did what the officers who pulled her over could not. She told the truth. One of the two who detained her, watching the hearing from a screen in the precinct. His hands tremble. He turns to his partner. Officer Miles. We went too far. Partner, defensive. Don't do this. We followed the script. Miles. Yeah. And that script's burned. 2 days later, Officer Miles resigned. 3 days after that, he released a public apology. I judged Amina Carter before she said a word. I saw a stereotype, not a human being. I was wrong. And I'm sorry. Officer resigns after viral stop. Apology comes too late, say advocates. Students' courage inspires national policy proposal. But this story, Amina's story, didn't end with one apology. It sparked action. The school district launched racial bias training. The city council passed the Amina Carter Transparency Bill, requiring all traffic stops be logged and reviewed by an independent board. And Amina? She got a scholarship. From a foundation started by a former protester, now an activist, who once tweeted, "This girl needs to go places." The girl they tried to humiliate in the rain? She rose like the sun. Because you can break a light, but you can't stop the truth from shining. Amina voiceover. They pulled me over for a broken taillight. But what they really broke was their silence, dedicated to every voice that refused to stay quiet.